we're going to be having a cracker of a game in the next 2 hours or so. We've got not only the planet's best footballer, Roberto Baggio, strutting his stuff, also that strange and bizarre footballing animal known as AS Roma. They lose against the worst teams and they beat the best. Who can explain them? I know I can't. But the Stampa, the Turin newspaper this morning, comes up with an interesting point about Roma. They call them here the Giant Killers, mentioning that surprisingly they are the team with the best record in Serie A against the division's top 5 teams, which is obviously bad news for Juventus. In fact, the Stampa, surprisingly, gives Juventus just a 40% chance of coming away with a win today and gives Roma a 30% chance of an away victory. Surprising, I reckon, because of Juve's fairly immaculate home record so far this season. We shall see what happens, of course. But before we join our commentators, let's just have a word or two with Malcolm MacDonald, who, as you've seen, is joining us again today. Malcolm, a win obviously against Roma today would really confirm Juve's status as a championship contender.
Yes, I think they're a strong enough side to win the championship this season. There's a lot of goals in there. I think 9, 10 and 11 are far too strong for most sides, and I think they'll be far too strong for Roma this afternoon. Muller in midfield gets forward very well. He dominates most of the midfield for most of the game. Roberto Baggio is a genius, and then we've got Ravanelli, the number 9, who is enigmatic. He's silver-haired, he looks 45, but in fact he's 25, and all of a sudden he'll do things that will change the game completely.
Silver hair, no sin, of course, but Ravanelli, the man taking the place of Vialli, the man who Juventus really invested so much money in and so much prestige in, and yet he's the man who's done more of the performing for them so far. You really rate him?
Well, yes, I do. He's big, he's cumbersome, and at times his touch lets him down, but he's got such an enormous heart, and he's Juventus through and through. He never gives up on anything. He chases all lost causes, and the guy is a wonderful team man to have around you.
Okay, he certainly does a lot of looking after Roberto Baggio. What about Roma, though? As I mentioned, they are a strange team, and they do all sorts of things. I could just ask the gentleman behind me to pass as unobtrusively as possible. What a marvellous job he did of that too. But as I was saying, Roma, they come up with the bizarrest results, including that one back in September, as Ken mentioned earlier.
Yes, they do, and I think their bizarre form is highlighted by Thomas Hasler, who is great on the wing, but I've yet to see him actually really do something that is telling. He looks wonderful, but I never see any real results come from him, and he to me epitomises most of the Roma side, that they can do some marvellous things, but they don't seem to quite get the results, except on the odd occasion.
Okay. Well, as we mentioned before, also, Juve looking for the title this season. The fans have been waiting 7 years for it. With the away form they've had, do you think they really can match Milan?
Yes, I do. They've got a very, very strong squad. Today they're without Dino Baggio, Giulio Cesar, 2 great players, and yet I think we'll still see a side out here today that will show the form that can win championships, and that's without 2 of their top players.
Well, as you say, a couple of major injuries for Juventus. Let's get all the team details now with our commentators, Joe Jordan and Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James, and a warm welcome, everyone, to this week's offering then from Serie A, which provides one of the Italian league's most frequent fixtures. Essential, of course, for Juventus to win today if they're to keep Milan within firing distance at the top. Juve, so powerful at home, will certainly expect to collect both points, but Roma don't lose too often these days. Only 1 blemish in the last 11 games now, and if they could only believe in themselves just a little more, well, their impact on Serie A this season might have been rather stronger than it has been so far. Roberto Baggio, of course, is the top-of-the-range model in the Juventus showroom. His brilliance has shone through so vividly in his team's search for domestic success this season. He wears the number 10 shirt as usual, but his namesake Dino is missing today through injury, so Gallia comes into midfield. Still no Vialli then up front. Ravanelli, once more his enthusiastic replacement. And in defence, Fortunato's injury means another outing for Notari. Well, Roma have looked reasonably sound defensively of late. Their solidity enhanced by the signing of Festa from Inter back in October. Capioli, another recent recruit, has settled well in midfield. And coach Mazzoni will be hoping, of course, that Thomas Hessler, the German international, will have an inspired afternoon against the club that discarded him, perhaps a little prematurely, 2 seasons ago. Revenge on the minds of the Juventus players after their defeat by Roma then earlier in the season. Still not as effective away from home Juve as coach Trapattoni would like, but here in Turin, well, their form has been awesome again. 8 wins from 9 home games, tell their own distinctive story. And alongside me in the commentary box then this afternoon is Joe Jordan, once of AC Milan. Your thoughts, Joe, on the prospects for the afternoon ahead?
Well, it's a very intriguing game, Peter. We have Juventus are playing at home, and as you've described, their home form is exceptionally good. Not only in this season, but since this stadium's been built, they've been beaten here on very few occasions. We have Roma, who are coming here unpredictable. They have players with imagination, ability to play at the top level and to produce it. It just depends what sort of mood they're in, to be perfectly honest. You know, if they've come here and they're going to go to task, they have got the players that can do the business. But I think you've got to look at Juventus' home form and look at the consistency that they have shown and say that they are definitely the favourites.
How important from Roma's point of view is it to keep this man Baggio quiet this afternoon?
Yeah, well, without a shadow of a doubt, he's the man. Not only the man of the moment here in the Juventus team, but the man of the moment in Italian football, and one of the players that we can all look forward to in the World Cup. He's an exceptional player. Not only has he got a gifted touch, but at the end of the day, he does one of the most important things, which is scores goals. He can make a team play, but he can also, on the grand occasion, wherever, he can score goals. And that's why I think he's got the accolades and the honours that he has done. He's done it not only with Juventus, but he's done it with Italy, and he's done it on a consistent basis.
Just wondering, looking through the Roma side, if they will man-to-man mark Baggio. Bonacina may have that task, the number 11 in the Roma side. They've left out Rizzatelli, which suggests they're only going to play the one man up front.
Yes, I think so. I think Roma have come here and they've had experience of this sort of fixture before. And the coach, Manzoni, I think he will try and flood the midfield and just play the one man up front. And for that man to have plenty of support when he receives and gets that ball attached to him, and he'll be looking for the support. I would say that'll be the tactic of the day, but Juventus have come across this before. They're a team that season in, season out have had teams not only from Italy but from the continent have come here and try and fight the defence. And then players like Baggio and Muller, they have players that with a bit of patience and time, and if they're on the form, they can break that down.
A really pulsating atmosphere in Turin, a crowd of around 55,000 in the stadium on this cold afternoon. The referee is Marcello Cardona, 37-year-old policeman from Milan. And, well, they know all about him from Roma. He sent off two Roma players, Bonacina and Piacentini, in their defeat by Napoli earlier in the season. Trapattoni, the coach of Juventus, hoping his team can continue their challenge for the title. Milan away to Genoa this afternoon. Milan, the leaders, of course. Inter and other of the teams up at the top. They're at home to Foggia. Parma away to Lecce. And Sampdoria are also away from home. They take on Piacenza. Roma in the dark strip. Juventus, of course, in their famous striped shirts. Ravanelli in the centre of the picture there. Vialli still on his way back from injury. There is also a problem with Andreas Möller. He's in the starting lineup, but has been suffering with a calf injury sustained in a charity match over Christmas. He's not too happy himself, Möller, and doesn't feel he should be playing, but Trapattoni is insisting that he's out there. And Möller saying last week he couldn't sprint at the moment. Well, we'll see how quick he is this afternoon. Normally, he is very, very fast indeed. But of course, such an important player to Juventus, Andy Möller, the German international. Abel Balbo, number 9 for Roma, the Argentine. 5 goals from him this season. Hessler. This is Capioli. Festa, who'll be one of the markers at the back for Roma. Now Giannini, who's the playmaker in the Roma side, and not having the best of seasons. Man they call the prince of football in the Roma side. Put it on by Mihajlovic to Giannini. This is Piacentini, back after 2 months out through injury. Another very influential player in the Roma side. They've certainly missed him. This is Hessler. Getting whistled by the Juve fans, who remember his one rather disappointing season with Juventus when he first arrived from Cologne in Germany after the World Cup in 1990. But Juventus had a pretty torrid time in that campaign, and one wonders what might have happened if Hessler had played in a side that wasn't struggling so much. Ravanelli with a header. This is Delivio, helped out by Conte. Then Piacentini in with a snappy tackle for Roma. Delivio, but the whistle has gone. Piacentini there, caught by Conte. The whistle blown in favour of Juventus. Baggio taking the free kick. It's Cola! And right onto the top of the netting then by, I think it was Italia who came in at the far post. The young sweeper, who's come in with Fortunato out through injury, so they've had some reshuffling at the back. I think it was right the first time, it was Jurgen Kohler.
It was a magnificent ball. It's another example of the accuracy of Baggio. That one was from a set piece, but in general play as well, he's a type of player around about that 18-yard box, so he can thread balls in for his colleagues.
First goal of the afternoon has been scored by Napoli. They're at home to Cremonese. Fonseca has struck for them. That's his 10th of the season, the Uruguayan international. Here's Jurgen Kohler, who's had good chances to score in each of the last 3 games, but has squandered all of those opportunities. Giannini for Roma. A player of immense talent. He's fallen below his high standards in the campaign so far. Capioli to Hessler. Good skill shown by the German. Still Hessler trying to wriggle through. And the cross safely gathered by Angelo Peruzzi, the goalkeeper of Juventus. He's been back to his best form in the last few matches after a bit of a shaky start to the season.
Just come in there, Peter, on Giannini. There's a player there who has had a career where he started off with an immense amount of potential, along with people like Baggio and Vial, and he's not really realised that. We have a scene here today where he's confronting in the opposition team Baggio, who has had all the accolades and whatnot, and rightly so has received all the awards. And surely today we have Giannini and the opportunity to actually make a mark and show that there's a lot more in him yet.
Delivio is offside here, waved on by the linesman. Ravanelli couldn't quite reach it. Festa was there. Back in by Torricelli. Gallia. Cola. Wide of him is Delivio. Baggio's in the area with Ravanelli. Conte with Delivio. Gallia. Best defence doing its job and winning the free kick. Roberto Baggio in sparkling form, 18 goals in all competitions this season, including 11 in Serie A, and he scored 2 spectacular goals in each of the last 2 games. Giannini was actually linked with Juventus back in the summer, but the move didn't come off. Feels himself the game is so physical in Italy that he hasn't been able to shine this season, and he's been saying that the likes of Baggio and Van Basten, when he's fit, has had more protection than him. Controversial remarks. He said, I know it'll cost me a fine, but I'm going to say it anyway. Here's Merla trying to shake off Bonacina. Giannini. This is Piacentini. Gallia, only his 2nd start for Juventus this season. Very much a French player now, Gallia, which hasn't pleased him. Baggio, laid off in by Merla to Conte. Now Perini. Good work by Festa. Giannini linking with Balbo. And There was no flag there, but Capioli, no real chance of reaching that one before Peruzzi. Up by Gazzia. Here's Hessler. Man who's forced himself into the reckoning for the World Cup finals. He's been in the last two Italian squads, Conte, after some prodigious work for this Juventus side. Another foul on Baggio, taking the free kick himself and quickly looking for Conte. But Courtney was there, and the free kick in favour of Roma.
One thing Roma have set out is that they've only left Balbo up front, and that really gives a problem for Juventus, whether they keep their markers back or they push an extra marker into the middle of the park to pick up that particular player and just leave the sweeper and the man that's marking Balbo. So really that decision's got to be made by Juventus.
No foul, on goes Giannini, trying to thread it through into the path of Balbo. Well read though by Notari. Delivio. Now Conte. Notari, the number 6 here, who's come through from semi-professional football. It's his third start for Juventus, and he featured the last time we showed the Juve side live. Did well that afternoon. Baggio. Capioli, though, was back defending. Under pressure here from Torricelli. That's a corner, surely. Good persistence shown by Torricelli. Man for all occasions, really. He's filled a variety of roles for Juventus. Now Merla with the corner. The header goes wide from Cola. Juventus appealing for a corner. They felt there was a deflection on the way. I think the referee may have overruled the linesman there. Or the other way around, whatever. He's given the corner anyway. Delivio will take this one. Another test for Laurieri, the goalkeeper of Roma. That won't be. Gazzia, dreadful corner. Now Roma sprinting out of defence, but a well-timed intervention by Torricelli.
There's occasions like that, Pierre, when you've got to be very aware. You've got a team like Roma who have sucked the team in, whether it's a set piece or just general play, and they can come out with exceptional pace and with accuracy of the passing. They can catch the opposition, and I'm sure that Juventus will be aware of that situation.
Giannini. Foul by Merla. Giannini taking the free kick. This is Mihailovic, former Yugoslav. Conte to Notari. Just showing that Fonseca has scored again for Napoli, this time from the penalty spot. So they lead Cremonese by 2-0. Great start there for Napoli. Baggio showing his sorcery, and this time to no avail. Wonderfully gifted player there, Roberto Baggio. And so important to this Juventus side. If he plays well, there's a fair chance they will. No foul again. The referee says play on, and he was only a few yards away. Standing for no nonsense, the policeman from Milan. The whistle has gone. Free kick to Juventus. Or the foul on Perini.
That was good defending there, the defender there, Perini. Yeah, he was up there with Balbo, who's a big, strong guy. He stood his ground, and not only did he win possession of the ball, but he played a nice wee ball.
Conte. Here's Delivio, who patrols this right flank for Juventus, and has done so to good effect this season. Former former youth team player.
Muller there, a very difficult player when he's in that sort of situation to coming through and attacking you. Great balance, can go by you. One of the few ways really is just the obstruction that Giannini showed there.
Here's Comey. Now Gazzia. Giannini. Now Hessler. Balbo's in the middle. Still Hessler. And away for the corner, is it by Conte? No. Mihailovic, yes, he has settled for the corner kick. That surely was over the line. Hessler has come across to take the kick. They've posted Festa forward. He's in the 6-yard box. Only partially clear. Piacentini with a shot that was charged down. Bonacina. Bit of a misunderstanding though with Comey, and Torricelli can bring it forward now for Juventus. No goals, and it's Muller now looking to attack the Roma defence. Giannini, here's the counter-attack from Roma. Hessler popping up on the left this time. Giannini. On for Balbo. Did well then, Balbo. So quick to spot the possibility of a chance.
Marvellous move there, constructed on the break. First of all, with Hessler into Giannini, and there he is. He's playing a marvellous, very precise ball through there. And Balbo just on his right peg. Very tight angle, and did the best he could with it.
The corner given. Balbo, who feels he should have scored more than his 5 goals so far this season. He's a bit worried about hanging on to his national team place. There's Conte away for Juventus.
That was a good corner there. It's whipped in with a lot of pace, and I think it was Giannini at the front post there that misconnected. A little opportunity that for a goal. A little opportunity to get something on target.
Piacentini losing out to Baggio, who had the guile to shake him off anyway, despite being held back. Torricelli to Gallia. Linking with Conte. Now Cola. Up to Ravanelli. Now Gallia, rather tentatively in search of Conte. Here's Balbo challenging for Roma. Helped out by Mihailovic. Giannini. Capioli with the pass, and he's picked out Mihailovic. Balbo making the run through the middle. Not too much support for him, as 3 defenders converge on the Argentine. Delivio made his debut for Juventus against Roma earlier in the season. Big occasion for him against his hometown club. And again, Roma soak up the pressure. Capioli up to Hessler. Giannini. Comey coming forward. Chance of a shot too. As the very animated coach of Roma, Mazzoni. 15 minutes gone, no score. But it hasn't been all one way, Joe.
No, I think if you're looking at it, I mean, I would say it was pretty even stating the fact that Roma are only playing 1 man up front. The tactic is to get men in support, and they have done that, and they've been as dangerous as the Juventus team.
There's Hessler with the cross. Juventus struggling to get it away. Now they have through Torricelli. Gazzia to Piacentini. Comey, the man who had that shot a moment or so ago at the other end, now he's back defending as the last man, the sweeper. And he's done well in the absence of Lana, as Comey taking over the sweeper role. Lanner out through injury, on his way back now. So it'll be interesting to see whether Comey retains his place. Gazzia. Inter have scored now at home to Foggia. And it's Ruben Sosa with a 30-yard free kick. Hessler forcing the corner. Now Hessler. Away comes Andreas Möller. Doesn't seem to have too much problem sprinting there. Delivio. Closed down by Piacentini, still Delivio, and he was caught there.
It's a pity Delivio never stayed on his feet there. A nice wee nutmeg, and if he'd been able to retain his balance, which I think he could, I think he made the most of it. I think if he retained his balance, he's right in, he's behind the Roman defence, and if they'd just been able to take it in the box, he could have maybe had an opportunity to pick out another Juventus player.
Delivio will take the free kick himself. So more danger for Roma here, with the likes of Ravanelli in the box. Lorieri organising the ranks ahead of him. Poor free kick though, easily dealt with by Kobe. And here's Gallia, and that was wasted, totally wasted. Flag was up anyway for offside though.
Yeah, you're correct there. It was abysmal, really, that from a player of his quality to actually get in a position as he was there. And with the Roma team coming out, if he just showed a wee bit of composure and put his foot on the ball and put something half decent into the box and create a bit of danger.
Conte, sliding tackle avoided from Mihailovic. Goes Conte. Then he ran into Bonacina. Now Möller. Maggio. They've kept him reasonably subdued so far. If that's possible with a player of his undoubted class.
I think a player like Baggio, as you stated here, we're just coming up to the first 20 minutes, and he has been kept relatively quiet. But a player like him, I think your concentration, when you're the marker, you've got to have your mind totally absorbed on the task for the full 90 minutes.
Möller lining up the free kick. Kohler has come up from the back in the penalty box. Maybe Möller is thinking about a strike at goal from here. I don't know, it's a fair way out. And I think he'll look for Kohler. And there is Jurgen Kohler. Nothing on for him this time, though. A couple of goals this season from Kohler. Both of them important ones, too. The winner against Torino and a late equaliser against Cagliari. Lorieri here, the goalkeeper of Roma, who's under a bit of pressure. There's a lot of talk that Pagliuca may be coming to Roma next season. The #1 goalkeeper in Italy, of course, with Sampdoria. But having said that, Lorieri has done well for Roma. And he's let in just 5 goals in the last 7 games now. Neatly off it by Giannini. Here's Hessler. Movement from Balbo. Giannini, seeing plenty of the ball in this first half, Giannini. Well, the tackles are flying in, and that one has left Möller distraught. Bonacina was very late, and he went right through Andy Möller then.
Well, I would say that's Bonacina's final one, and I think the next one will be a yellow card for him. As you said, he went right through him. He took the ball, but he's up there, he's got a great angle shot of that. He's went right through, he's collected the ball, but he's also collected the man, both legs.
And he's playing with fire here, Bonacina. This, remember, the same referee who sent him off earlier in the season. Along with Piacentini. Now, Kohler. Gallia. Careless work, though, by Gallia, who's made a nervous start. As I said earlier on, he doesn't play too often for Juventus these days. He's struggling a bit at the moment. Capioli feeding Bonacina. Capioli again. Very mobile player. And here the effervescent figure of Hessler, helped out by Capioli. But sound defensive work by Juventus. Torricelli. Baggio with the pass, finding Möller. Well, the crowd had spotted Hessler. Möller hadn't. As we approach the halfway point in the first half. Hessler. Some niggling fouls going on at the moment. Giannini taking charge of the set piece. Hessler.
Coming back to his old stamping ground. I know he was only here for one particular season, but I think when you've had that and things haven't gone too well for you and you get an opportunity as he has today, it's something you want to prove your critics wrong and the public wrong, where, as I said, things didn't go particularly well for him, and he started pretty brightly, pretty sharp. I think if his teammates can give him the ball, he's a player that could cause Juventus some problems.
Here with the throw then for Roma, who've acquitted themselves fairly well so far against the might of Juventus in Turin. Let's see what Malcolm McDonald has made of it so far. Malcolm, how do you think the game has settled down?
Well, Roma have had a lot of possession in this first 20 minutes, and yet they've not really done a lot with it. There's a lot of very pretty passing, a lot of lovely pattern work from them, but apart from the Balbo effort that the goalkeeper put round the post, Roma, their passing is quite ineffective. It doesn't seem to take them far at all. Interesting confrontation going on between Roberto Baggio and Garcia. He's a no-nonsense defender. There are no frills to him at all, and I wonder whether Baggio has got the patience to take 90 minutes of the kind of treatment that he's getting from Garcia. Garcia is the kind of defender that comes off of most games with a broken leg and never knows who it belongs to.
Thanks, Malcolm. Hear from you later. Here's Balbo. Now Giannini. Well, he'd spotted the run of Capioli, but so too are the Juventus defenders. Now they've got themselves into a tangle again. Piacentini. Who has a sweet left foot, but this time no accuracy on the pass, dealt with so easily by Jurgen Kohler. Delivio. Now Ravanelli. That was neatly done. Conte to Möller. Kohler going past his German compatriot Hessler, at least I thought he had.
I didn't see much wrong with that at all.
Not at all.
Not at all, no. I think I thought he was a bigger and a harder man than he was there.
Möller with the free kick, trying to find Baggio. Garcia, as ever, was right on his shirt tail.
Very dangerous area there for Baggio and for Roma. You know, I think a player of Baggio's ability to receive a ball on the edge of the box there would really put Roma in trouble. And I think I don't know if it was a wee nudge or the ball was just played to the side of him, but if he had made contact with it there and got it under control, it could have spelled danger for him.
Kohler. 25 minutes gone in the first half. Juventus 0, Roma 0. Ravanelli in the wars. He's a real battling striker, Ravanelli, and he's come in for some pretty harsh treatment. Then he'll expect that from a game of this stature. Two of the most famous clubs in Italian football. Delivio to Möller. This is Jurgen Kohler. Now Ravanelli. Down goes Kohler. Tackle was a bit reckless again. Joe, made it look worse than it really was.
Yes, I think he was stretching for the ball, you know, and his intention was to get to it, but I think he was making sure that if he was getting the ball, there was no way he was going to be connected to it. And I think he's got himself out the road. He's ridden the tackle, he's seen it coming, he's an experienced player. Okay, I may have caught him, but I don't think he's that badly hurt.
Well, it was definitely a foul by Festa, no question about that. And, well, we'll give the benefit of the doubt to Jurgen Kohler. He is obviously injured. But Juventus certainly not in full flow so far. They haven't really got their rhythm going. But all credit to Roma, they've defended well.
Regarding the game, Pierre, I mean, he's mentioned Roma, and Roma are a team that's doing a lot of passing, but I think a lot of responsibility has got to go to Juventus. They're the home team, they're the players that, other than one or two, Julio Hazard and one or other that are out the team at the moment, you know, they're really at full strength, and really they should be taking the game to Roma a wee bit more than they're doing. They haven't really threatened the goalkeeper at all.
Baggio and Merla hovering around the ball for the free kick. As we saw, Festa caution for the challenge. There's Baggio, it was on by Kohler. And a good catch by Laurieri. Who has a reputation for being one of the best keepers in Serie A. Came from Ascoli back in the summer, and certainly when they were in the top flight, he saved them from humiliation week in, week out.
Well, it's a perfect, legitimate contact there with Ravanelli, and the goalkeepers went down, and he's made the most of it.
Ravanelli. Now Baggio and Merla. The keeper just got a hat to it. Here's Gallia. Menacing moment then created by Juventus, stemming from the intelligent distribution of Roberto Baggio and the pace of Andy Merla.
Well, that's the first time Juventus have got to the dead ball line there, and it was a marvellous through ball, and Müller could do what was his only option, was really to square the ball back, and unfortunately there was no player in the Juventus team falling up to capitalise on that opportunity.
Ravanelli, lovely piece of skill.
Well, that's the second time in 1 minute that they've got around the right flank there, and they're creating a wee bit of panic, putting a wee bit of pressure on him.
It's more like it now from Juventus. Delivio trying to get away from Piacentini, stuck to his task well. Morini, Notari. Again, has looked very confident this afternoon, the young man coming in the back. Notari for Juventus. This is Conte. Morini, Notari, Gallia. Ravanelli though was dispossessed, and off goes Giannini. Again, that's good anticipation by Notari. It's an outstanding prospect. Torricelli, another man from semi-professional football. There's Ravanelli.
Well, the game's live. Sorry, Pierre.
They're raising their game a bit now.
Yeah, the game's livened up a bit. It's going a little bit end to end. I know there's been a couple of mistakes made in the passing, but what it has done is it's opened the game out a little bit, and both teams have really counteracted.
Torricelli. Piacentini with the header. Delivio. Laid off to Perini. Now Baggio. Whipping over the cross. And again, no one on the end of it, at least not a Juventus player.
What a fantastic ball there by Baggio. You know, he's created that out of nothing. He's got his marker with him. He's just got the yard. And even then, you would have thought that the defender was favoured really to cut it out. And he's got a marvellous ball in.
Well, the message is clear enough there from the referee. Keep it quiet. He's cautioned Jurgen Kohler. Didn't like the tackle on Giannini. Just clicked his heel then.
Yeah, there was a booking due. I think there's been a spat of little fouls, and he's the first. And if they don't get a grip of themselves with these silly little niggly fouls, I think they'll book 2 or 3 other players.
Giannini. It's another foul. Meantime, Inter have scored again at home to Foggia, and it's Wim Jonk, the Dutchman, who has increased their lead. Inter 2, Foggia 0. And Piacenza have scored against Sampdoria. Giovanni Piacenza leading Sampdoria. Sampdoria up in second place, 2 points behind the leaders Milan, with Juventus in third spot, a further point behind. This is Capioli in trouble. No goals yet in the Lazio-Reggiana match, but I'm told Gazza's playing well. And he's still out there, Joe.
Yes.
Delivio. Obstruction. It looked to be then by Bonacina. Referee trying to allow the advantage. Or maybe deciding that Möller was just too quick for Bonacina. He has lightning pace, Andy Möller, despite this calf injury, which doesn't seem to be hampering him too much. Notari and Jürgen Kohler have both come up for the kick. Taken by Möller. It'll fall for Gallia. Now Conte trying to wrestle off Bonacina. Ravanelli. Möller with the cross in. Punched out by the keeper. Baggio. With Gazzia, of course, out there with him. Still Baggio. Picked up by Mihailovic. Giannini. The challenge though by Gallia. Very competitive first half. Not too many chances so far. Very tight contest. Torricelli taking the throw, finding Möller. Hoisted upfield then by Capioli. Notari. Up by Piacentini. Piacentini just getting in ahead of Ravanelli. Möller. Festa wins the argument. Most of the attacking now coming from Juventus. They're finding Roma extremely hard to break down. And here is the counter-attack with little Hessler. Balbo almost getting into...
Yes, I think Balbo's first touch just let him down. With Hessler, he's taken the ball, good control, and he's just threaded it through between the two defenders. And really, I think Balbo would be disappointed, because if he had got a first touch there, it was a chance.
Conte for Juventus. Notari. 21 years old, Notari. Here's Hessler. 10 minutes of the first half to go. Still no sign of the first goal. Baggio. Gallia. Given away though by Torricelli, to the frustration of Ravanelli, who looked at him in sheer disbelief. Mihailovic. Giannini. This is Capioli. Made in by Kirby, but safely through to Peruzzi. Both sides lacking that cutting edge up front at the moment. Mihajlovic, the serve. Here's Hessler, trying his luck down the left now, policed by Kohler. Hessler again. This is Fester. All rather tentative though by Roma, and certainly not inflicting any damage on Juventus. Kohler, Delivio. The crowd becoming just a little impatient now. Certainly wanting more from their team, Juventus. Delivio with the cross. He's found Merla. Jurgen Kohler! Oh, terrific save by Lorieri. Kohler really letting fly there. And he might just have caught the goalkeeper unawares. Ravanelli in towards Baggio.
I think the goalkeeper did do well, because I think he caught a lot of people unexpected there with that strike with his right foot, and it certainly was on target, and he did well. Although he never held the ball, he got across the goals, he got his hands to it.
Another free kick to Juventus. Referee Cardona having a busy afternoon, trying to keep this one in check. Lorieri, who certainly rescued his team with that acrobatic save from the German Jurgen Kohler. Now, what does Baggio have up his sleeve here? Merla is there, and Ravanelli too. Baggio to Ravanelli. And a shot from Perini. Another good save by Lorieri, this time to deny Perini. So the defender's getting in on the act now. Good strike too. Merla's corner. Another one conceded. This time by Capioli. Make a decisive contact this time, and up comes Piacentini. Garzia being chased by Baggio. It's a rare excursion upfield for Garzia. Just kept in by Torricelli. Baggio for once deep in his own territory. Decides himself what position he will take up during the game. The freedom he's allowed by Trapattoni, the coach. Mistake by Mihajlovic. Theatricals from Ravanelli.
He did well there, Ravanelli, because he's first of all he's headed the ball on, and then he's chased his own ball, and he's put people under pressure. So it's nice for him and his team to get a reward for all that effort that he put in.
Baggio with a free kick. There's Kohler in there challenging again. Certainly is imposing himself on the set pieces, Jurgen Kohler. And really, he's come closest to a goal so far, along with his fellow defender Perini. Torricelli.
It's a silly foul they've given away there, Roma. It's in a very dangerous area, really. There's no need to. The lad, Miller, wasn't going anywhere. And they've got players, as we have. We've got an eye view of Baggio here, and he's the sort of player that can create or actually score from an area like this.
Baggio just sizing up the options open to him. In that clinical mind of his. Striking for goal too. Well, it took a deflection. And there's an argument going on the edge of the 6-yard box. I think that's Kohler who's gone down, and there's an almighty scuffle going on. I think the referee may have had his back to the incident. Looks like Kohler, and he was suddenly felled. Didn't really see what happened there, Joe, did you?
No, I didn't. I think, you know, the award of a corner kick was given, and there must have been something said or done, and there's been a reaction, and if the referee or the linesman seen it, I think there could be an expulsion here.
Well, discussions going on between linesman and referee. What do you make of that?
I think he's just going to let it go, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's going for a...
I don't know. We'll have to wait to see here. Certainly, Jurgen Kohler was sent crashing to the ground. A red card. But for whom? He knows. For Kohler.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing.
Well, that astonished look on the face of Jurgen Kohler, who went down there. Now, well, the referee must be saying that it was play acting. That was Möller there. Now, there's Kohler getting involved. Well, it's very hard to ascertain exactly what has happened here. Certainly, Kohler has been dismissed.
All I can think about is that Kohler has over-exaggerated the act, and whether the linesman has interpreted that as he's trying to con him, because I don't see anything other than a slight push.
Well, Kohler hasn't gone yet, and his teammates are trying to restrain him. Jurgen Kohler, who has had his brushes with authority in the past since coming to Italy, sent off in an Italian Cup semi-final, also in a league game against Fiorentina, I think it was. Well, Bonacino is going off as well, so he's been sent off. So is Kohler. Both teams are down to 10 men. Now that, the referee hopes, is the end of it. Möller, who was involved in the initial incident. Controversy reigns in Turin. After all that, I think it's a corner.
A corner, and well, we might even have a little bit more of an open game now with the exclusion of these players. I think what did happen, I think both players did lift their hands, maybe for a slight push, but interpretation given by the linesman to the referee has resulted in both players going, and that's the end of the matter.
Möller taking a corner. Morieri just about got his fist to it. Baggio with a shot. Again away for the corner. Roma clinging on here. It's of course Bonacino's second expulsion by this referee. Möller again. Wasted opportunity and relief for Laurieri and his Roma teammates as the crowd endeavours to digest the events of the last few minutes. Torricelli, maybe a change of role at the back for him now with Kohler having gone off. Conte to Gallia. Now Baggio. Gazzia got a foot in and got a boot for his troubles from Baggio. News coming in that Lazio have taken the lead at home to Reggiana. Goal from Di Matteo. Lazio 1, Reggiana 0. Good catch by Laurieri again. this one. Towards Merla. And then coolly back by Comey. The man the Roma fans say is smooth as velvet. And almost a minute of injury time. Little nudge by Conte on Giannini. Hessler. Maybe the final flourish of the half will come from Roma. Doesn't look like it. It's Conte for Juventus. Will be disappointed with their afternoon's work so far. Delivio. They really haven't created enough problems for Roma. Notari. I think that's the way you'd say it, Joe?
Yeah, I was thinking about the first 45 minutes, you know, on reflection, I think Roma will be the happier of both teams. Perfectly honest, other than a little spell, 5-10 minutes, where you had Kula and Porcini had the shots, I would say that they've really been pretty negative, Juventus. As for Roma, as they are now, they can still be dangerous on the break.
This time though, Notari with the interception for Juventus, now away by Torricelli. And there is the half-time whistle, a controversial first half. There's the man at the centre of the storm, sending off two players, Marcello Cardona, but really not too many goal-worthy attempts from either side. That's the way of it at half-time. It's Juventus 0, Roma 0, and we'll be back after the break.
Welcome back to the Stadio delle Alpi, where the score after the first half seems to be Roma with a 4 and 3 submissions, or in goals terms anyway, 0-0. However, we have had a few goals from around the rest of Serie A, so here are the half-time scores in the 19th week of the season. Atalanta 1-1 with Torino, Codispoti scoring for Atalanta, then Silenzi with his 13th of the season, leading the goal-scoring charts there, putting Torino level. Genoa and Milan 0-0. Inter, surprising 2-0 result against score so far against Foggia. Surprising because a lot of people were predicting this would be the final game for Bagnoli. But Sousa coming in with a blast from 30 metres out, and then Jonk following up with the second goal for Inter. Juventus and Roma are 0-0 as we've seen. Lazio 1 goal up against Reggiana. Di Matteo with the goal there. Gazza apparently playing well as well, so that's good news. Napoli 2-0 up over Cremonese, both of those coming from Fonseca. He now goes up to 11 goals, actually now third in the goal-scoring charts on the same number as Hullet. Piacenza 1-0 up over Sampdoria, good result for them so far. Piovani the scorer there, and Udinese 1-0 up over Cagliari with Branca. Lecce and Parma is the evening game tonight, and those are the half-time scores. We'll be hearing from Malcolm MacDonald in a minute or two with his reactions to an interesting first half here at the Stadio delle Alpi. Right now, though, let's go over to our golden goals from last weekend, the best of last Sunday's action.
Yes, your chance to look at some great goals, all contenders for January's Goal of the Month competition. Paul Gascoigne will choose his top selections from these and from others screened over the next few weeks. If you eventually agree with his number one choice, you could win an Alitalia Italia Tour trip to see Lazio play Milan in Rome next month. Remember, the best of these, plus the top goals of the next few weeks, will make up our January Goal of the Month finalists. No cards yet, please.
Welcome back to the Stadio delle Alpi in Turin. The score here after the first half, Juventus 0, Roma 0. Of course, there was that big incident at the end, which has caused such a lot of talk here in the interval. What's the McDonald judgment? You saw the replay.
Yeah, I thought that Kohler was provoking Bonaccini to have a go at him. As he had gone down onto the ground, Kohler, he had a little kick out, although it was a fresh air kick. It didn't make contact, and I wonder whether that's why he was sent off. The punch itself, it was handbags at 10 yards, and I think it was as much the overreaction of the players afterwards that caused the referee to get the red card out.
OK, well, as you can see, the players have now kicked off, so we'll hand back to our commentators, Joe Jordan and Peter Brackley.
Thank you, James. Juventus straight on to the attack. And I would imagine that Trapattoni has had some strong words to say of them at half-time. They really didn't get going in the first 45 minutes. Roma, in contrast, will be far more satisfied with their contribution so far in terms of holding Juventus, a team who are, of course, so strong on their own pitch in Turin. Conte with the header. Now Baggio. Garcia has done a fine job in marking Baggio so far. Balbo. Well, it would have been a spectacular goal, and he mistimed it completely.
That was a good chance. I think he did the right thing. I mean, the ball was played in nice and early. He had the opportunity. I think he knew where the goals were. It was just the fluency in his connection. He's just let him down.
They've hardly examined the qualities of Peruzzi at all in the Juventus goal of Roma. But here's Baggio now, hoping to create something at the other end. Gallia! Well, he was in the right place at the right time, Gallia.
He should have scored. It's just taken a little deflection there, but he's got there. He's there in plenty of time. And the keeper's made a good save, but on a flash, he should have stuck that one away.
But again, we saw the vision of Roberto Baggio to lay on the opportunity. Gallia again. Off goes Hessler, who squandered that half chance at the other end. Forward by Garcia. Not a bad pass either. He's found Capioli, and it was just hooked away then by Torricelli as Balbo came herring in.
Well, the game's live and up here. That's 3 opportunities now in the space of maybe 2.5, 3 minutes.
Torricelli's intervention, he's being watched by Arrigo Sacchi, the Italian team manager today. Along with 1 or 2 others as well, I'm sure. But Torricelli is being tipped to be called up by Sacchi for the next get-together. Torricelli, who's had a fine season for Juventus. Peruzzi, former Roma goalkeeper, had 3 seasons with Roma. And of course suffered that 1-year ban along with Carnevali after being found guilty of taking illegal substances. There's Baggio, operating from deep, finding Ravanelli. Certainly the game needs a lift. It was a disappointing first half. Gallia being pursued by Capioli. Gallia again. Mola. Conte. Here's Delivio. Still Delivio. Appeals for a free kick. Not given. Ravanelli. Gallia. Asking too much, though, of Merla. Of Perini, rather. This is Merla now. And Perini. Now Ravanelli. Well, it had the goalkeeper sprawling. But he was in the right place. But at least chances are coming the way of both both sides. Delivio. Much brighter start to the second half. Flags up for offside. Comey was in possession anyway. Can't really see the point there, Joe, of the referee stopping play.
No, I think he's got that one wrong there. It was an opportunity to let the game flow. The game started well from the first moment of the start of the second half, and really the referee could have helped things by just allowing the game to continue as it was. Roma did have the advantage, and it was taken from them.
Ball by Notari. Ola.
Well, it looks as if Trapattoni certainly has had a few harsh words to say his players there, and they've come out. They look a lot more aggressive in their play. They look a lot more positive. And so we got better second half. Certainly started well.
Borini to Torricelli. Now Ravanelli. Didn't find Delivio though, thanks to the efforts of Piacentini. Off goes Giannini. Balbo. Still Balbo. Piacentini. Oh, wonderful work by Peruzzi in the Juventus goal. First to deny Balbo. And then, well, Piacentini off the target, but Peruzzi was across to cover it anyway.
Yes, that is an area there where I think if a young goalkeeper was looking at, not only has Peruzzi made a marvellous save there from Balbo, but he's on his feet, he's come across, he's protected his near post, he's got his angle right. Unfortunately, he wasn't called to make a save with it.
Giannini, Campioli had made the run for him. And the game is up to gear or two now. Thankfully, Giannini to Hessler. Giannini again, the captain of Roma. It's Hessler. Comey to tidy up for Roma. We've had a couple of away wins this season, notably in Genoa against Sampdoria and also away to Lecce. Giannini. Tugging the strings again for Roma. Campioli had gone ploughing through the middle. This is Hessler. A little bit of space opened up for him, briefly anyway. Mihajlovic. Still yet to make a real impact, Mihajlovic, in Italian football. Campioli. Roma retaining possession, but can they penetrate? Hessler now. Oh, well, Balbo was the lone Roma figure in the penalty box. Off comes Baggio now. Mola. Caught by Mihajlovic, and he's going to be in trouble. Another yellow card.
Then we could take ourselves back to the Hessler cross there, and just when the ball comes across, there's only one Roma player in the box. I think if they can be just a little more positive, Roma, there are opportunities there that they could capitalise on, and not only just get a draw, but could actually take the lead and take it from there.
Bad tackle by Mihajlovic. And as so often happens in Italian football, Merlo made sure the referee didn't miss it. Merlo taking the free kick. Baggio trying to shake off the attentions of Garcia. Mola. Now Delivio. It's good play by Delivio. Baggio. Away by Mihajlovic.
Delivio done very well there. I mean, he was confronted with two opposition players. He's taken them on the outside, and his cross was very good. He's just unfortunate, a little touch on didn't really land to Roberto Baggio.
Torricelli. Oh, Ravanelli was almost released then. It was a well-timed intervention by Festa. Mihajlovic. Off goes Hessler. Two at the far post, and it was Balbo with the header. Certainly more attacking commitment being shown by Roma, with Hessler getting away down the right once or twice.
I think both teams, Peter, have shown a better tendency to attack, try and create. I would just like to see Roma get one or two more men in the box to support the front guys.
Balbo. Now, what support does he have? Hessler. They've got three in the box now. Still Hessler. Now, that could have been interesting. It was heading for the target. Hessler much more prominent since the break. And he's so anxious to impress today against Juventus. The club that decided he wasn't for them after just one season. Big money signing from Cologne. Now in his third term with Roma. And the last one really was his best in Italy. It's Hessler with the corner. Mihailovic. Here's Garcia, the marker on Baggio. Both men down to 10 men. If you're just joining us, no goals. Cola and Bonacina both sent off just before half-time. Capioli. Giannini. Merla. Baggio. The tentative run for Conte. Now Gallia. Conte again. Here's Parini. Now Notari. Ravanelli. Couldn't get away from Festa, but it's Merla now. Outmaneuvered by Mihailovic, not illegally. Little shove there by the serve on Merla. Now is Merla thinking about a strike for goal from here? Wouldn't think so. Up towards Baggio. But away come Roma. Piacentini. Giannini. Now Conte back in possession for Juventus. Delivio. Past Comey. Still Delivio. Garcia. And he's brought him down. Well, he didn't think so. While we prepare for the free kick, news of another goal for Lazio, scored by Crivero. It's a penalty, so they're 2 up now at home to Reggiana. Crivero, the man that Gazza thought was the groundsman when he first went to the club. Not for the way he played, but from his appearance, apparently. That's Gazza for you. Anyway, he'll be happy today, Gazza, with his team 2 up. This is Baggio with a free kick for Juventus. Notari was at the far post. Gallia now looking for Ravanelli. Delivio out by Giannini. Torricelli. Merla. Dancing past Mihailovic. Still Merla. Good tackle though by Comey. Conte with a shot then. And what is Giannini doing here? Well, he's got away with it. To the relief of his teammates. Not sure what the coach would have thought down on the bench, Mazzoni. Delivio. Juventus beginning to press now. Baggio. With Parini. And the luck of the bounce deserted him. Torricelli. Other goal news, Atalanta now lead Torino by 2-1. The second goal for Atalanta scored by Rambaldi. Atalanta 2, Torino 1. Atalanta Atalanta down in 16th place against Torino, who are 6th. Delivio for Juventus. Really desperate for win today, Juve, to keep up the pressure on Milan at the top. Ravanelli. Now Baggio. And the little genius will be thinking he should have made more of that.
Yes, I think he had visions of a player being in the middle there, and I think he was just going to try and hook it on, the possibility of someone coming in and maybe getting his head to it, but he didn't get the weight of the pass right, and he didn't get the height right either, and it's just going to miss.
Gazzia. Giannini. That elbow is offside. Conte. Juventus looking to keep the momentum going now. Easily the best home record in Serie A. But are they going to falter today? Baggio. Gallia. Farini coming forward again. Now Conte. Swapping passes with Merla. This is Gallia. Facing a packed Roma defence. And Gallia won't get through that way.
I think Juventus have certainly got to get Baggio into the game. They've got to get it to his feet or down the channels at the edge of this box so he can try and create something.
Certainly missing Fortunato down the left side, Juventus. He makes so many foraging runs for them from his left back role. Fortunato out injured today. And the same really can be said of Carboni of Roma, is also missing for the first time this season. Now Balbo. Support arrives in the shape of Piacentina, who has covered so much of this ground today, and remember, only just having returned to the side through or after injury. Piacentina. Kessler. Giannini. Very ambitious. Malcolm MacDonald, your views on the second half?
Well, there's a lot more space on the field now that the two guys have been sent off, and I think Juve are making much more of it. It's given Roberto Baggio more space. He's coming a bit deeper to find it. What I must say is that Roma, when they cross the halfway line and get into the Juve half, they look a very, very tired side.
Ravanelli. Failing to hit the target, they'd forced him sufficiently wide. Still no sign of a goal, Joe.
No, just to repeat myself, really, what I said a few minutes ago. I think they've got to get Baggio on the ball, especially around the box, because he will create. You know, if he does get the opportunity, he will create something for him, as he did for Gallia there, who failed to hit the target. Okay, the keeper made a save, but really, and from that position, I think he should have scored the goal. I honestly think if you can get it to the man, he is the man at the moment, he's the man in form. I think he's been well pleased today, but I honestly think, even though that Garcia has got the upper hand so far, and he's handled them properly, he's handled them right, he's handled them correctly, he's not foiled them in any way, he's just marked them well. I still think that Baggio is the man that can turn the game for Juventus.
Foul then by Mikhailovic, who has already been cautioned. Is Baggio leaving the throw, though, for Delivio. Merla. Most of the goals this season, of course, have come from Baggio and Merla. There's Kessler clearing for a corner. Obviously didn't fancy the back pass there. Merla with 8 goals in Serie A. Baggio with 11. Trapattoni with plenty to say. And whistle. Merla's corner. Notari. Too easily cleared though. Torricelli. Now Gallia. Baggio. Curled in delightfully. Looked like a little bit of a push then on the way. Well, Perini arrived and he is certainly claiming he was sharp, and that was my view of it, Joe. How about you?
Yes, I think he was, but I don't think the referee's going to give it in for that. I mean, it's a marvellous ball. It's put any space for him. Yes, wee Hessler has leaned in him. He's just taken enough off the direction of the header to make it worthwhile for Roma. But the referee's just turned a blind eye to it.
Little Hessler, the man who caught Perini. Relief for Lorieri and his Roma defenders. Merla. Baggio had pulled wide of him. The move breaking down, and off come Roma again. Still very much in this game at 0-0.
I think, sorry, Pierre, I think, as you were saying there, it's still in the balance. The game can go anyway. You know, there's still everything to fight for. Both teams can still collect the 2 points.
Mihailovic to Gazzia. Looks like Sampdoria are in trouble today. They're 2-0 down now away to Piacenza. Ferrante has scored the second goal. Sampdoria, remember, 2 points behind Milan at the top. Milan still drawing, no goals yet in Genoa. Piacentini did well to get his cross in then. Oh, what a save! Well, Capioli with a header, and it was a marvellous stop on the goal line then by Peruzzi.
I think three pieces of great action there. First of all is the cross. It's a good header, it's right down there. But the keeper, Peruzzi, he's caught it as it's come off just a little bounce. It's been a difficult one for him. Tremendous effort there.
Balbo. What a lift that will be for Roma now. Capioli, the man who came so close to scoring. Gallia, Torricelli. And Juventus know they have a fight on their hands today. Conte. Much better second half. Merla. Turn it on for Ravanelli. But he couldn't outsmart Festa, who's had another strong game at the back. And has certainly made a big difference to Roma since his arrival earlier in the season from Inter. Surplus to requirements there, Festa. Conte. Juventus, who've scored 21 of their 32 goals on their own ground here. Can't find one today so far against Roma, and very nearly conceded one a couple of minutes ago. Notari. It's handled then by Gazzia. It's a yellow card for him. Just panicked for a moment then, Gazzia.
He's misjudged the ball, and Baggio's away. He's collected a booking, and maybe he'll look back, and in some ways he'll look at it and say at this moment in time it was a good booking because it prevented Baggio getting through in 18 yards, but it adds to his tally for the season, and a player like him, he's going to get booking, so he's going to miss some games.
So puts pressure on him too in keeping check of Baggio. One reckless tackle and he could be off now, Gazzia.
That's right, Pierre. There is a point there that maybe even give Baggio that little bit more freedom that he requires.
It's Baggio now, touching off the free kick to Merla. And he was fairly well wide of the target then, but must have taken a nick on the way. Didn't see that, Joe, did you? Anyway, the referee did, so it's Merla who will take the corner. Keeper stayed on his line this time. Gallia. Torricelli. Trying to spread the play. But Roma still defending tigerishly. Here's Torricelli, hoping that he's impressed Arrigo Sacchi this afternoon. Still places up for grabs. perhaps, really, for the Italian squad for the World Cup finals. Delivio. Didn't make it with Roma, Delivio, but hoping to with Juventus, and he has certainly become a regular choice in the side. Does a good steady job down the flank for them. Torricelli. Baggio. Now Perini! So quickly closed down by Comey. What an important challenge that was then. Perini, who, not for the first time in this game, has found himself in an advanced position and very nearly scored.
I would say during the game, Perini's had 3 great opportunities, and it's a credit to him that he's ventured forward and got himself in those positions.
Bella, short to Gallia.
It was a marvellous little ball by Baggio that set him up, and it's a shame it never really came across to his left foot there, because the defender, as it was on his right there, the defender was able to clear. If the ball had came across, he would have been in a position where he couldn't really got his tackle in. But it was a last ditch and a very important tackle.
Torricelli. Notari to Perini. Had an outstanding game against Cremonese last week. Juventus has looked effective today. Certainly, as Joe was saying, he's had as good a chance to score as anyone in this game. Along with this man Campioli here, who came so near. The header brilliantly saved by Peruzzi. The player's been stopped here. Ravanelli with Festa. Muller. Perini. Now then for Gallia, goes Perini again. Getting another chance to show what he's made of down the left flank, but to no avail. Here's Gallia. Conte. Campioli. Almost got caught in possession then by Baggio. By Laurieri, but it's kept the pressure on because Juventus have won the throw again. Still looking to pin Roma back and find this breakthrough goal. Baggio. Off Gazzia. Baggio, but no question of a free kick. It's a corner, though. Baggio, the most prolific scorer currently playing in Italian football. 104 goals in 204 games. Delivio to take the kick. And the header easily saved by Laurieri. Roma looking to probe now. Notari with the back pass to Peruzzi. Delivio rather, fouled by Hessler. Here's Baggio. Now Balbo. Giannini. Supported by Hessler. Conte's foul.
That's one player that's worked hard today. Hessler, both in defence and also going forward. He's just running against a wee bit of a brick wall there, but he's put a very lot in it, an awful lot into the game.
That's the foul count so far. Hessler back on his feet, and he'll be wanting to play a part in this set piece now. Something of a discussion going on among the attackers. Baruzzi hoping that wall is in the right place. Milovic is lethal from long range with his left foot, but I don't think he's going to be involved here. Number 4, he's wandered away. Hessler and Giannini. Here is Hessler now. And Baruzzi was across well, just to make sure. Always going over the top, that one from Hessler.
That's a good effort by Hessler here, but you look at Baruzzi, he had it covered. It was a little bit acrobatic, he wasn't taking any chances.
This is Alessandro Del Piero, just 19 years old, being brought on in place of Ravanelli, who has toiled away up front without any real reward. Del Piero, very highly rated young player. Straight into the action, linking with Delivio. Now Gallia. Hoots of derision from the Juve fans. Away goes Hessler. Capioli. Balbo. Storicelli for Juventus. Baggio on the chase. Gazzia inevitably has gone with him. Gazzia's tackle. Giannini spreading the play down then for Roma to Mihailovic. Giannini again. Use of another sending off. Herrera, the Uruguayan, has been sent off for Cagliari. They're playing Udinese today. 1-1 the latest score. Now, is there a chance on here for Juventus? Muller. Oh, that was Muller on the end of the cross and could do nothing with it. Hessler. Giannini. Capioli. Balbo. Juve's turn to funnel back now in defence. That's only the coach of Roma, wondering if his team can steal a valuable win here. They beat Sampdoria away, remember. Capioli. Notari with the head around. Finds Gallia. Juve fans doing their best to lift their team. I don't think they've been too pleased with Gallia's display today. Hasn't had one of his better games. Then he hasn't had too many appearances in the team this season. There he was, hoping to be on the end of that pass, but it was Hessler instead. So alert to the situation. Tireless performance by Hessler, especially in the second half, when he's been even more effective. Storicelli. Juventus really can't afford to drop a point today, with Milan threatening to go clear of them. There's Delivio with the shot. Again, no test for Laurieri. Malcolm McDonald. What do you think now, Malcolm? How's it going to go?
Well, I think that Roma are starting to put their game together a little bit. They're looking more positive in the Juve half, and in actual fact, I think that the whole thing has changed completely, because Juve, their heads are going down a little bit. They're not looking confident. Although I must say that this youngster Del Piero has impressed with the 2 or 3 touches that he's had so far. He looks very, very cool, and perhaps he could be the danger that could bring this game to life.
Thanks, Malcolm. Well, Trapattoni, the coach, certainly rates Del Piero. He says he reminds me of Paolo Rossi, which is some accolade. Yet to start a game for Juventus, young Del Piero, but he's already scored against Reggiana in one of his appearances as a substitute. Conte. Up by Comey. 10 minutes left in the second half. It's still 0-0, and it really could still go either way. Torricelli. Free kick to Juventus. We've only in the past dropped 1 point at home this season. Merla on for Baggio. Brought down by Piacentini. Nobody is going to risk the possibility of Baggio taking them on. And Piacentini went flying into the tackle then.
He's got away from his mark, Garcia there, and he's been confronted with Piacentini. I still think Baggio's the man that can turn this game. We're getting the last 10 minutes now. And yes, I think the game can go either way. Both teams have had their opportunities and they've missed them, especially in the second half. I think there's been chances there that could have resulted in either Roma or Juventus getting the 2 points, especially for Juventus. I think, as you said, with their position just behind Milan in the league leaders, they can't really, especially at home, afford to drop a point. Their home form's been exceptional, and they've got to maintain that because they have slipped up on occasions away from home. So I think it's important in this last 10 minutes they can try and get this goal that can give them the 2 points.
Baggio or Merla. Maybe a crack at goal here from Andy Merla. Here is Merla, straight into the wall. Torricelli to pump it back in again. Capioli and Gallia, and that was over the line. That'll be a goal kick to Roma. Certainly the crowd getting rather frustrated. They weren't expecting their team to drop a point today. But Roma, as they've shown in the past this season, have the ability to raise their game against the better sides.
I think as the game stands at the moment, going into the last 10 minutes, I think on looking at Roma, I think they'll settle for the draw. They'll take the point, obviously, and you've got a situation like we have at the moment, maybe trying to get them on the break with Hessler or Balbo, but overall I think they would like to go back to the capital city with 1 point. They'll be happy with that.
Mihailovic, Del Piero tangling with him. Sampdoria have now pulled the goal back away to Piacenza, and it's a penalty from Lombardo. Piacenza 2, Sampdoria 1. So maybe a late flourish still to come from Sampdoria. And it's Inter 2, Foggia 1. Di Biagio has scored for Foggia. 2-1 Inter lead. Another team on the fringe of the leaders, Inter. There's Giannini. Good time for Porini, who has had opportunities to win this game for Juventus. Torricelli. Di Livio. Still Di Livio. Hoping to set himself up with a shot, and it wasn't all that far away. yet scored for Juventus in the league. He has managed one in the Italian Cup, Delivio. Would dearly love to score against the club that discarded him as a youth. Trying to link with Baggio, but no real chance of him doing that. Del Piero then giving it away. Mihailovic to Balbo. Quickly confronted though by Torricelli. 5 minutes left. Balbo ran straight into Torricelli. Another goal for Inter, and it's Dennis Bergkamp this time. So both the Dutchmen have scored today for Inter. An earlier goal from Jonk. Inter now leading Foggia by 3 goals to 1. Del Piero for Juventus. Taking on Festa. Now that's a goal kick. Good defending then by Festa. Saves today, Laurieri, but Juventus, I'm sure, will feel they haven't stretched him enough. Del Piero. Torricelli. Still time for Juventus. Notari. Roma just prepared to soak up the pressure now, which hasn't been too intense. Parini. Gallia. Parini again. Dreadful cross. Oh, such a waste too. 3 waiting in the middle, including Baggio.
Yeah, I think he summed that up there, Peter. Yeah, it was a nice wee move, nice 1-2. He's got as far down to the byline that he requires to put in a decent cross, and I think there was people in there waiting, and he's made a hash of it. For all that good work that went before, at the end of there's nothing to show for it.
Well, they missed Fortunato down this left flank, haven't they?
Yes, I think they have. I think it's been an area where it's troubled Juventus for quite a while. And Fortunato has come in and he's given them that balance. He's given those strong runs, you know, and he forages down there and gets the crosses in. Parini today, really, although he's had 1 or 2, I would say 3 efforts on target and has an opportunity to score, I think Fortunato has been missed.
Giannini. Forward by Comey. Kessler not really going to chase that one. He'll chase the man in possession. Conte to Notari. Milan still goalless at the moment away to Genoa. So Juventus won't have lost any ground if they only draw today, but they could have made up another point. Really is the problem. Milan, as long as the other teams aren't catching up, are always going to be the title favourites. They're taking points off each other, the other contenders. And it's that goals against column, Joe. Milan, only 8 goals conceded. That really tells the story.
Well, that does tell the story. I mean, that's we're basically in the foundation of what it's all about. Your team's got to be right at the back, and when I mean that, that's the whole 11 defending. I think if you look at the teams, whether it's in Italy or here in England, and you look at the successful teams and teams who have won championships and shown consistency, that's what it has been. At the back, it's there. Also along with someone with a quality up front that can score goals, but as a team organised is to reduce that, not to give too many goals away, and that's what Milan have done.
Now, Conte for Juventus. Still hoping for something. Delivio. Tackle was from Mihailovic, and it was a clean one. But now he's given it away to Merla. Conte taking over. Delivio. Juventus, who before today were the 2nd highest scorers in Serie A. They have found Roma a really tough nut to crack. Hessler. Giannini. Capioli was There's some space now. And it was Piacentini on the end of the cross, and I don't think there was a flag there. On goes Conte. We're in the last minute, and it's Merla for Juventus. That was coolly done, and then he ran into Torricelli, penalised by the referee. Roma want to make a substitution. This will waste a few more seconds. Scarchili is going to come on to replace Hessler, and he'll have about 30 seconds to make a name for himself. Just takes the sting, though, out of Juve's attacks, doesn't it?
Yes, I think Hessler, who I would consider, in my opinion, he's been one of the best players for Roma today. I think he's just come on, just purely a tactic to stop the game, kill them on momentum for the last few minutes. As I say, Roma have worked hard. I think they've deserved the point that could go their way. I think a draw overall is a fair result. It may change in these final moments, but I would say both teams have had chances, and unfortunately, they've missed them. But on reflection, I do not all up. I say a draw's a fair.
Free kick to Juventus. I think it's Beretta who's come on, not Scarchili. Frustrating afternoon then for Juventus. I say another one because although they've been devastating at home in the past, they've had some rough results on their travels that have stopped them making the impression they were hoping for this season. Certainly still very much in the running up there at the top. But if Milan are held, this would have been a golden opportunity to close the gap. But all credit to Roma. We've battled away, and we'll feel they have merited a draw. Could have won it too. Delivio. Torricelli, 2 minutes into injury time. Who hasn't had a memorable game by his standards, but much of that down to the attention paid to him by Garcia. The number 2 there for Roma, who has enhanced his reputation as a man-to-man marker, that's for sure. Free kick given to Roma.
I think Garcia can look back on his 90 minutes and feel very proud of what he's done. You know, people look at it because he's a defender, they think it's derogatory, but what the boy has done today, he's played against one of the best players in the world, and he's marked him cleanly and precisely, and he's really nullified him into just maybe 1 or 2 opportunities that Baggio's created for his teammates.
So Juventus having then to settle for just a 1 point, a goalless draw, only the 2nd point they have lost at home. Well, let's look back on some of the incidents of the game, beginning with a shot from Jurgen Kohler, who of course was later to feature in the setting off incidents.
Yeah, he's kept this doing well, Peter, and he's put it right in the corner, and I think he caught everyone was surprised except the goalkeeper.
Ravanelli with a shot here, and it falls for Perini, one of the other defenders, and again bringing the best out of Laurieri.
Yeah, this is the first of maybe 2 or 3 opportunities Perini hit here. And for a defender, he's reacted very quick, and he's got his shot left foot on target, and the keeper's pulled off a marvellous save. This is Baggio's, this is where the incident occurred, you know, this is one of the main talking points of the game. It was eventually given a corner, and 2 men off. Here we have Kula, who's come up and he's tried to separate both players. He's maybe, I think he's overdone it, to be honest.
He had already been cautioned, Jurgen Kohler. Bonacina sent off for his part. That would be for the earlier incident, I would think, involving Merla. Well, they're trying to hold Kohler back. He'd already been sent off at that stage. A very unhappy man. Now, this was the effort from Gallia.
Yeah, this is Gallia. Badger's just played it through. He's just taking a little deflection, taking the weight off it a little bit. Gallia's come in. The keeper's made a save. I think if they'd have kept it down, the near post there was a little space. He's not a striker, but if he just clips it into the bottom corner here, there was a chance that it could have been and should have been a goal.
Now the effort from Balbo.
Well, listen, he's come all the way through. They've let him come. The keeper's made it a marvellous save, and as we said earlier, he's got up, he's got a cross, and he's covered that angle again. And unfortunately for Roma, here we have it from a better angle. He's parried it, he's got up, he's made his way across, he's covered his near post. And unfortunately, as I said, for the Roma supporters, the players put it out of play. This is a tremendous cross here. Piacentini's put it down. Marvellous header, and the keeper, a very, very awkward header. And he's clawed it and grasped it in close to him and prevented it from squirming out for the oncoming player.
So the second half, much better than the first, but still didn't produce a goal. As I return you now to James Richardson.
Well, a disappointing game, really. Malcolm MacDonald with me to give his final comments on the match. Possibilities for so much more, but just a 0-0 in the end.
Yes, it was disappointing. There were disappointing performances by a lot of individuals. What really did surprise me was the final pass, particularly of Roma, how careless it was. That they were just knocking it forward willy-nilly, that there wasn't the meticulous looking to put it into people's runs, looking to get it to feet, and so in the end the ball was constantly going from one side to the other, and there was no actual flow that was then developed by either side.
Well, Giannini's certainly quite guilty of that for Roma, but his opposite number for Juventus, Baggio, didn't shine either. He didn't inspire his team.
No, he didn't. He tried. He doesn't like being man-for-man marked, and particularly by the guy that he had out there today. The only way that Baggio could get space was to come deep, and once he's deep, then they're lacking up front, and then it does no good at all.
Okay. Well, a 0-0 draw then from here at the Stadio delle Alpi. Let's see what that means for the Serie A standings with the rest of the results with Peter Brackley.
So just running through the scores: Atalanta 2, Torino 2, Genoa 0, Milan 0. Lentini came on as a sub for his first appearance of the season today. Inter have beaten Foggia by 3-1. Lazio 2, Reggiana 0. Napoli 2, Cremonese 1. An upset for Sampdoria. They've lost to Piacenza 2-1 away from home. And Udinese 1, Cagliari 1. So at the top of the table, Milan now 3 points clear of Juventus in second place. Sampdoria also on 25, Lazio on 23, Parma on 22 with Inter. Top scorers in Serie A: Salenzi of Torino on 13, followed by Baggio, Hullit and Fonseca all on 11. Roy, Sosa, Branca and Deli Valdez on 9. So that's it then for today. Plenty more to look forward to, of course, with Gazzetta on Saturday with Paul Gascoigne and Mezzanotte on Tuesday night at midnight. More live football next Sunday, but now from Joe Jordan and myself, it's goodbye for now.